what's up, what's good? Welcome to Michaela month day 2, and since we are just coming out of November, Thanksgiving just happened. Your girl wants to do her reading wrap up. I'm a simple girl, and I say this in all of my reading videos. I only read clean, closed door romance and romance only, heavy on the romance only. Okay, I may throw in like a women's fiction or a Christian non-fiction occasionally. In the past 2 years, I have switched to completely clean, closed door Christian romance only. So I am going to be sharing with you guys all of the books that I read in the month of November. November was a slow reading month for me. The only good books that I read were the ARCs that I got approved for. I'm trying not to currently get in a reading slump because the book club book for this month was not it for me, and we're going to talk about that. And another book that I'm reading, that I was reading, was also killing my reading vibe. So hopefully December is a little bit of a better reading month for me. I got my Apple Pencil because your girl is looking at her iPad reading the synopsis to you. Let me know if you guys prefer me to read the synopsis or like you guys want me to shorten it. But I know whenever I'm looking for book reviews, I like to know the full synopsis so I can kind of get a gist of what's in it and what it's about. So first and foremost, I did get to some of the books that are like my Christmas holiday books, so I'm proud of myself for reading those. So the first book that I read in the month of November is My Frosty Fake Christmas Date by Cassie Bowen. This is one I was very excited about because it had foster representation in it, cowboy, grumpy sunshine, all of that. This was an ARC, so I'm so thankful that the author chose me to read her book. I did review it on Goodreads. If you guys are not following me on Goodreads, go ahead and follow me because I write like thorough reviews on there and give you guys more information about like the content and stuff on Goodreads. So go ahead and follow me over there. I'm trying to put the link in the description box, but let's talk about the description. So it says, every holiday season my family puts on the largest Christmas Eve party in our small town, and every year I'm reminded of my ex-fiance, how long it's been since I brought a date along. Well, this year's going to change. When I run into my ex's old best friend Tucker Madison, I strike a deal with him that he can't resist. He agrees to play my swoon-worthy love-struck boyfriend as long as I set him up with time to pitch a business deal to my father. Then at the end of the holidays, Tucker can dust off his hat and ride away into the sunset. It's perfect, except for one small problem. He's not nearly as insufferable as I remember. Beneath his frosty exterior and even icier blue eyes is a man who might hold the key to helping me find love again with him. But just when I think my unplanned feelings are the only problem, our secret agreement is suddenly on the brink of being outed. Now I could lose my family's trust. Tucker could lose his livelihood, and we both might lose our chance at real love. This is not what I asked for this Christmas. I think this was my first book I read by Cassie or Casey Bowen. No, I think I have read another book by her. She is someone I like. This book could have definitely been a Hallmark movie. It was just that cute. I loved it. I love both main characters. Nobody was cringy. I can't think of the girl's name. Hold on. Okay, so her name was Julie and Tucker. Her past was a little messy and I didn't mind it, but it was just very annoying. Like, her past was terrible. Her boyfriend cheated on her with her best friend. That's just terrible. And then it was going around like just happy around the town and flaunting it in front of this girl's family, and that was one thing. Okay, Tucker is actually her ex-boyfriend's best friend. Well, his ex-best friend. They also broke up because he realized he was terrible. He started telling lies about him. Tucker is actually an orphan. His mom left him at a fire station, I want to say, when he was a baby, and he was kind of like taken in by Julie's ex-boyfriend's family. He was taken in until it was no longer convenient for the ex-boyfriend slash ex-best friend. He was just a terrible dude. So after that, like, Tucker kind of like pulled himself up by his bootstraps and got it together, because him and the boyfriend was a little wild back in the day, so everybody knew them in the town for being wild and being mischievous and being troublemakers. But as he grew older, he was like working as a rancher. He had his own like cattle and stuff like that. I don't know. I love a good cowboy romance, but I don't know nothing about that. And he came back to his hometown looking for some land to put his cattle on, and just so happened he ran into Julie and they proposed a deal to help each other out, and that's how we got the story. I think the only thing I didn't like about this story is how like not understanding the mother was about like why Julie would like still be upset over this breakup and still kind of be annoyed and not want to be around the ex-best friend and the ex-boyfriend, because that is very hurtful. Like, we can forgive them, mom, but you don't have to like invite them to stuff and invite them to our Christmas party. I didn't understand that, but they were going a little bit too far, inviting them to stuff and still inviting them to the party even though Julie had found a boyfriend. Because literally the fact that the boyfriend was somebody that the ex-boyfriend's best friend, like that was a little too close to home. So I feel like they should have been a little bit more understanding and gracious of their daughter and understood why she did not want to be around them, but still they was kind of like pushy and wanted her to be with someone. But that's the only thing I didn't like. The rest of it was just so cute. So I really did like this one, and I think I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so the next book that I read, and it was an arc by one of my favorites. It is A Make Out to Remember, and this one is another 5 out of 5 stars for me because girl, this book did miscommunication so well. And I'm like in a group chat with the author and the rest of the people that's in the hype team, and she was like, okay, if you don't like miscommunication, this book might not be for you because it is like miscommunication out. So I was a little nervous because miscommunication can definitely get on my nerves because I'm like, just talk to each other. It's not that hard. But this one right here, no, she did that. She did that. I think this one is even better than the first book I read by Dulcie. This is definitely topping that. This one, she was on a whole nother level with this one. I love this book, okay? The synopsis says, there's nothing more damaging to one's ego than realizing your mystery midnight man makeout partner from 2 years ago has no recollection of you. Britta Grayson is happy for her bestie, Liz. They had so many like abbreviations for nicknames in here. Her name was Bliss, but they called her Liz. And the once-in-a-lifetime love she found with pro snowboarder Alden Beaumont. It's Alden's friend Cash that gets under her skin. Why? Because 2 years ago after a concert, she and Cash kissed. Not once, not twice, but full on made out after one of her gigs. And for Britta, it was the single most thrilling experience of her life, but with no way to track down the mystery man, she chalked up their interaction to a serendipitous moment with a stranger, except he's no longer a stranger and very much inserted into her life. And much to her embarrassment, Cash doesn't seem to remember her at all. So when I go into my like arcs, I really don't read the synopsis first. I just hop into it and be surprised on what I'm going to read. But this book right here got me. If you didn't pick that up, I don't think it was stated, Britta is actually a professional dancer. One thing I loved about the book is they talked a lot about her body. She said she like gained weight over the years, and her agent was basically telling her like, no, you shouldn't dance anymore. It's going to affect how you get gigs. She did a last performance and Cash was there with his niece, taking his niece to the concert with his sister, and he ran into her. They were having like a little encounter with Britta's date for the night that did not go well, and she ended up kissing Cash. It was each other's best kiss ever, but as they were leaving, Cash did not ask her out. Very devastating for the reader and for her, because one thing I love is that like she brings you through this little encounter from beginning to end, and it was just so cute. And then I think it was like it was 2 years later, her best friend is getting married and the best man is Cash. He's acting like they're meeting for the first time, but she's like, okay, maybe later he's gonna say, oh, I remember you, I just didn't want to say it in front of other people, like I'm nervous. But no, they go on this whole time disliking each other and having beef at all the family functions and just not getting along, and people do not know why she does not like him. But she's just like, I feel so betrayed, which so would I, so would anyone probably, if this man like doesn't remember you, and you like, you know, we had something, like we both know we had something, you met me before, we had a whole conversation, and now you don't know me. I would be highly upset too. So I fully understood Britta. She was giving him the cold shoulder as she should have. Like, I love their banter. Whenever she would like be a little nice to him, she's like, nah, I shouldn't be nice to you, you forgot me. And he was just totally clueless the whole time, like, where do I know this girl from? I don't know her, I don't know why she's so mean, but she pretty. That was basically the middle of the book, and not until the end, but you realize why he doesn't remember her, and it is just the sweetest thing ever. And I love that they go most of the book without knowing, like it's not till the very end that he realizes who she is, and that's just such the cutest thing ever. I loved it. They didn't really want to get it together until they realized that Bliss was pregnant and they were going to be godparents, so they're like, okay, we're gonna have to work together a little bit. So what he wants to own like this fitness gym or whatever, he offers to train her, and after she retired from dancing, she went into interior design, so she wanted to like design his office, and she started working on his apartment, and different things happened in between. But this was so cute. I could have saw this being a movie or a TV show also. This is such a good premise because, child, this miscommunication was like the best I've ever seen it done. I love this book so much. It was another 5 out of 5 star for me for sure. Okay, so now we're gonna go to like the lesser rated books of the month. This was a small reading month for me. I didn't really read a lot. So the next book that I read was Single All the Way, a very merry romantic comedy, and it's a part of the Sweet as Sugar Maple series, and it is by Kate Watson. She is a clean closed door author. This one I read on Kindle Unlimited, which your girl finally got her Kindle Unlimited. I got like the 3-month trial for 99-cent little deal. I haven't got like my full usage out of it, but so far so good. I really don't want to read all this description. I'm gonna summarize this one. Juliet Ship is a twin, and she's supposed to have a roommate, but the roommate is like in another country teaching or something, so she's subletting the apartment, and she's always having it out with this guy in a white Prius for a parking spot she's not supposed to have, and he's always racing to get in that parking spot, so she has to go park on the roof, and she basically has beef with this dude. And one day Juliet is, you know, racing for the parking spot. She doesn't get it. She tries to get on the elevator, and once she gets on the elevator with the man whose name is Nate, she doesn't understand why Nate doesn't hold the elevator for her and stuff like that, but literally the elevator is broken and it's not Nate's fault. They keep saying that Nate looks like Oscar Isaac, which is the guy from Moon Knight, so I like when I can get a visual, I know what he looks like. I think Juliet is like blonde. Now y'all see why I don't give synopsis, because all over the place. But okay, so they're on the elevator, and then they get stuck in the elevator together, and it's like the best 8 hours of their lives. But there's also an age gap. I think Nate is like 8 or 9 years older than Juliet. They basically talk to each other in a way they had never talked to anybody else. On this elevator, the age gap wasn't really mattering to them at the time. It was in the back of their head, but it wasn't like such a big deal to them as they got to know each other more. She was still in college. She had switched her major like 5 times because she basically couldn't focus on one thing. She had wanted to be a nurse, but things transpired, so she ditched that. But nursing was really her true passion, and she was worried that he was going to think that she was too much of a flake and too young for her, too immature, because she kept changing her major. But he didn't mind that at all, because he actually considered her gifted. He majored in psychology in college. He asked her a bunch of questions, and basically he's like, you're not a slacker, you're just gifted. And her family saw her as a slacker, and that she was like the lesser twin, which her family was terrible, very terrible people for like making her feel bad about certain things that transpired, and they were terrible people. But I really love this story. To me, they fell in love pretty quickly. Like, there was no time in between like the first scene of the elevator to them really liking each other. She was like apprehensive for like 2 days. Once they made the agreement to fake date, he was like, no, we're really dating. But I loved how upfront and honest he was with her. I liked that there was no games in between. He wasn't trying to feel her out. He was like, no, I want you to know my feelings up front. I like you, so you can pretend this is fake dating, but I'm not going to pretend. And I think she really appreciated that honesty. I love that honesty, and the book really took off from there. It was so cute. I just wish it was a little bit like more story in between them falling in love, but I do love the journey that they went through with the families. And you know, he's rich, so there's a whole lot of like mess there. It was really cute. I think I'd give it like a 3.5. Yeah, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's what I'd give it. Maybe even a 4, but more like 3.5 or 3.75ish. It was okay. It was definitely like on the cheesier side, but I really do like the writing. What really got me and why I would bump it up to a 4 is like the story. Her and her sister's relationship was so interesting, because like people were just crazy to her, and even Nate's relationship, I'm sorry if I'm scratching like I have. Oh my gosh, this sweater is so itchy. His parents kind of were like not that involved in his life, because they were too busy like trying to be rich. So that's the whole storyline in itself. So I feel like I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars, or like 3.75. It was a really good read for me, and I love books that are clean, so I really appreciated that. It wasn't any big flaws. I just feel like they fell pretty fast for each other, but it was still a pretty good read. Last but not least, I have my potential DNF. It pretty much is over. It's DNF'd. Is my book club book of the month. It is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I don't believe I've read anything else by Megan Quinn. So many people love this book. It was highly recommended. Let me just read the synopsis. Let me just read y'all the synopsis, and maybe you guys will get a better gist of why I don't like it. So it says, living in a year-round Christmas town has its drawbacks. The caroling, the decorations, the insanely cheery spirit, it never disappears. It's why I like to hide away in my cave. I mean my house, keeping a healthy distance from the holly jolly spirits. And all was going according to plan until my nemesis Story Taylor moved in next door to care for her Aunt Cindy. Without blinking, she turned my simple world into a real nightmare before Christmas, especially when she decided to enter the town Christmas Kringle contest, which she was determined to win. Well, guess what? Over my cold-hearted body. There was no way I was going to let her win, not after the history we'd shared. So despite my promise to myself of never participating in the sickening Christmas season, I entered the competition as well. That's right, I planned on beating Story at her own game by pretending this Grump's heart grew 3 sizes this season. And it was working until feelings between us started heating up. We pretended to date, we kissed, and well, sparks flew from there, which led to one explosive night involving Christmas lights, the competition, and a ladder. Don't let me convince you who stole Christmas. I think you need to find out for yourself. I think I got to chapter 5. I mean, maybe I didn't give this book enough of a chance, but I did not like the writing style. Maybe because it was a Grinch retelling. I didn't like the narration in between. But my main gripe, which not only is it not a clean, I skip over scenes that are unclean, I didn't like the language in it, so that's why I stopped early. To me, it was just thrown in a little unnecessary. But to me, the male main character was very annoying. Like, I don't know, like, to me, I don't know, maybe I didn't get deeper in it, but for me the writing wasn't equaling up. Like, the things that he was saying, I guess she was trying to be reminiscent of the Grinch when it came to like the script and stuff, but like the things he was saying, it didn't sound like it would come from a man, let alone come from someone that's grumpy. And like his initial reason for disliking Story is a little like ill. He was basically giving me the ick, and that was my main issue with it. Like, I tried to judge a book not purely based off of its uncleanness at first. I'm judging it and giving this review based off of the writing and the story plot. I did not like it. I could not get into the groove of it. The story and her sister and Aunt Cindy was not grabbing my attention. I'm not finishing it. I can't do it. Y'all. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So I might like skip around, try to get to the end, because I'm going to the book club meeting and I want to have something to say, but it really won't be good things because I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. A lot of the other girls were saying like they like it because it's like cheesy and Hallmarky, but I don't know, it wasn't giving Hallmark to me. It was giving cheesy, but it wasn't giving Hallmark. So it's not one of my favorites. Would not recommend. I disliked this more than I disliked The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. If you are a Christian and you like clean closed door, this is definitely not the book for you. I know it was not gonna be closed door and clean, and I didn't even get that deep. I just did not like the writing. There was nothing I even had to skip over because I didn't even get that deep. No, you can't read everything, and this one is not. It was not something I liked. Wasn't given. But I will definitely come back and let you know what the other girls in the book club thought about it, so I can kind of compare notes. But I think that is all for today's video. Those are the 4 books that I started to read, didn't finish, read in the month of November. Let me know what you guys read in the month of November. I did get some like recommendations on my last video that I definitely will be looking up now that I have Kindle Unlimited. Thank y'all for being here for another day of Michaela month and another reading video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will of course be seeing you guys tomorrow because it's Michaela month and I'm coming at you guys with a new video every single weekday. So if you are new here, go ahead and join the party. Your girl is really challenging herself this month because I have no videos pre-planned. We're just going with the flow and getting these videos out for you guys. So I hope you all enjoy it. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow.